sir.
Calling Dr. Howard. Dr. Fine. Dr. Howard. Calling Dr. Howard. Dr. Fine. Dr. Howard.
Good morning. Welcome to the Howdy Boomy podcast. Today is Wednesday. It is the 10th of April. I hope all is going well in your household. I remember as a little kid playing Little League Baseball. And you won or you lost, and you strove to be your best. I was involved in the playoffs going to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and you were challenged by the best players around to be as good as you could possibly be. You win, you lose. There's winners and losers. Well, some parents didn't like that. Some parents had kids that couldn't play Little League Baseball very well, which in the 50s was a huge sport for kids. Soccer wasn't that big. Playing baseball takes a little skill. You have to have hand-eye coordination. You have to have muscular coordination. Not all kids have that. So what they did is they came around and started putting their kids in soccer. Because all you got to do is run, and mostly all kids can run. But what that did is it spawned a generation of, well, I can't compete. And I don't feel good about it. So then they stop keeping score. There are no winners and losers. Instead of getting a trophy for winning, you got a trophy because you participated. Think about growing up a generation dictated by that. A country, a person gets impetus by being challenged. Challenged to do the best you could possibly be. That, they say a rising tide lifts all boats. Challenged to be the best instead of, I can't do that. One of my bosses always said, you do business with people that are dumber than you are. What does that mean? Well, either you deal with idiots or you educate yourself to the point where you know the best about everything about the product, the service you sell, and put people at ease and the customers that you're trying to acquire. Challenge yourself. Challenge this country. That's what we need, a leader to challenge the country, to bring the best out of people. Because I said, a rising tide lifts all boats. We now have a diversity chief, whatever that means. Basically, it means hire more black people, hire more minorities. Don't care if they're able or not. That's saying we have to get rid of white America because the model doesn't work. Worked pretty good up until now, until this administration. These guys are worried. They must be worried because now Biden is talking about doing something about the border. Because now he cannot run on his record. He has to come out and say Donald Trump's an idiot. Donald Trump's an idiot. He's going to take away our freedoms. Donald Trump's an idiot. Imagine if there was no Donald Trump. What would Jimmy Kimmel talk about? What would Joe Scarborough talk about? What would all the talk shows talk about? That's the only reason they exist. I hate Donald Trump. He's an industry. Challenge Americans. Challenge to be the best that you could possibly be. The rest of the world is going to pass us by because we're become a generation of, well, I did the best I possibly could. Challenge your kids. Challenge your coworkers. Challenge yourself. Scrabble. Inventing a easier game now because the current generations find it too hard. What does that tell you about our educational system? What does that tell you about the kitchen table in America? Everything starts at the kitchen table. Challenge your kids. Challenge yourself. America was a country built on challenges. Don't take that away. We have an administration now that's turned this country into a quagmire. I have never seen anything like it, where the borders are not secure, where you have people demonstrating in this country, death to America. Death to America. All the terrorists that have entered, there's 1.8 million getaways in the last 3 years in this country. I have no idea who they are, where they are. And if I was a terrorist, boy, I'd go to Michigan, because that's where they're saying death to America. and they're going to be plotting something, and you're going to be able to thank Joe Biden for the next terror attack that happens within this country, because you know there's terrorists here. You know there's drug runners here. You know there's fentanyl here. Say what you want about Donald Trump. Unlike Joe Biden, who his own people said never made a foreign policy decision that was correct, he loved this country. How can you be a Jew in this country and respect Joe Biden for what he did to your country in this war? October 7th, there was an attack in Israel by Hamas. They started it. There was no war until that attack happened. Remember that. Israel's not at fault. Hamas must be destroyed. We need a change. Challenge yourself and your kids to be the best. Don't be dumb and dumber. Don't reward mediocrity. Challenge to be the best. Watch the Howdy Boomy podcast on the Howdy Boomy channel. Truth, justice, the American way. That bring back memories? Tomorrow's Friday. Shift head of the week. God bless you. God bless America.